Welcome to another edition of the Business and Personal Podcast, where we bring you closer to the people that you do business with. And very excited to have a couple of representatives of Easterseals on with us today. And everybody's heard of Easterseals. They've been around for 100 years plus, but I don't know that everybody knows exactly what they do. And with so many people battling mental health problems right now, I wanted to find somebody that could talk about services that are available and has the capacity to help right now, because so many places are overloaded and can't help, but Easterseals can, and they have some great programs. So I'm joined today by Craig Sharum, the Director of Communications at Easterseals, and Regan Goldberg, the Chief Development Officer at Easterseals. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're doing good. Thanks for having us, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan, for having us today.
All right. Well, so many things I want to cover, but maybe let's just start out and feel free, whoever wants to answer this. What is Easterseals exactly? Like I said, everybody knows about it. What exactly do you do?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We've been around for about 100 years, a little over 100 years. 1920 is when we started in Michigan, but we have been around as an organization a little bit longer than that. We were one of the first affiliates. Our organization started in Ohio, and so the founder, Edgar Allen, had lost a son to a tragic streetcar accident, and he decided that he was going to open a hospital in his town because that was one of the reasons that his son passed away. If there was a hospital that was closer, they would be able to treat him sooner. And in touring hospitals back in the early 1900s, he realized that children with physical disabilities were kept away from children without physical disabilities. And as he would ask every hospital, why are these children separated from the other children? The answer was always roughly the same, which was, those children upset the other children, and they're best kept separated. And he kind of felt like that was a mean sort of approach to something like that. So he started the Crippled Children's Society is how we started. And the whole focus was to help individuals, mostly children with physical disabilities, to have experiences similar to children without physical disabilities. So they would go to camps, and they would play baseball, and they would learn skills that would help them feel empowered and help them obtain a skill set. Because back in the early 1900s, anyone with a physical disability was kind of viewed as a burden on society, which was not the case, and that's not what our founder believed in. And so he implemented all of these fun, interesting, kind of cutting edge therapies that helped a lot of these children go on to become parents, become active in their communities. I just talked to one former ambassador from Easterseals from the 60s that she became one of the first graduates of her college to graduate in a wheelchair. So they kind of broke down a lot of those barriers associated with physical disabilities. And as we were founded, the whole goal was always to evolve over time. So it wasn't always going to be children with physical disabilities. It was, what are the needs in the community and how do we address them, with the sole purpose of making the community stronger. And over the years, we've kind of evolved a little bit, and well, in a great deal, actually, because we opened up to serving adults. And then now we serve a lot of individuals with mental health disabilities. So our ages range from, I think we have 6 months old is the youngest we serve, and the oldest we serve is well into her 80s. So it covers all ages and all stages of life. And we offer a variety of services, including the mental health services, autism services. We help Michigan farmers. There's a large number of Michigan farmers that are aging, and therefore the wear and tear that their lives and their livelihood has taken on their bodies is starting to catch up with them, or if it hasn't already. And they're starting to feel the effects of that, but they have no plan B. This is what they are. They're farmers. And so we will actually go out to the farm and invent or find materials that help them to continue working, which, in a lot of ways helps put food on our tables, because without farmers, where would we be? So it is an organization that is very entrenched in Michigan. We're one of the oldest affiliates in the country, and have remained committed to the people of Michigan, and we serve the entire state. So we're always very busy, and we're up in the UP with our AgriBility, the farming program. We're heavily concentrated in southeastern Michigan. We go as far over as Grand Rapids. We have offices in Flint, and we're just dedicated to providing the services that the community needs.
I think we need to schedule a series of 10 podcasts to really explain everything you do. That's just it's amazing. And yeah, it's all about helping out the community. And like I said, what we'll focus on here is mental health. And when I talked to you guys in preparation for this podcast, you explained some really cool things that Easterseals has done with COVID-19. I mean, mental health was a serious concern for our country way before COVID-19, and that has just ramped it up even more. Maybe Regan, could you touch on some of the things that Easterseals has done just since COVID-19?
Sure. So once the pandemic hit Michigan in March, our team quickly gathered together, got all of our senior leadership and leadership groups together and our staff to really figure out how we could quickly pivot our services to provide them face-to-face, as well as through virtual platforms, and also still going out to meet people in the community. So we had a telehealth platform called eVisit that we had done just several hundred of visits. If you think about the whole year of 2019 and compare that to 2020, we had done just several hundred visits to now hundreds of thousands we've done for the 2020 year. In individual settings for those that were, again, kind of, we look at the moderate and severe individuals, as Craig mentioned, across all ages. And then also, how do we get to those that are at home, maybe afraid of coming out for services? So we started having a lot of our staff and clinicians go do home-based therapy services. When he talked a little bit about the population for autism, some of those families and those services really can't be done, Ryan, via a platform like this. We actually needed to deliver supplies to them so that parents could also work with the therapist and be able to keep things going, so to speak, because we didn't know if the pandemic would last 3 months, or even right now, we're almost up to a year that it's been going on for us in Michigan. So we started delivering, again, supplies and things that were needed to people, helping to also touch those with our ACT team, which is, think about the people that are battling mental health issues along with chronic illnesses and other health risks. We started meeting them in the community. The acute chronic treatment team is what we call them. They were out there helping people. We're seeing a ton of rise in opioid usage, substance use, people that are having some of these issues. Those are things that there might trigger, again, some of those things going on with them. So our teams were very committed to trying to make sure to do regular check-ins and make sure that people were okay, that we were serving, along with even just administering shots and or medication. That was a real issue because some of the people we serve don't have any transportation at all. So our staff would just bring it right to them, and again, be their support system when they needed it during the pandemic. We also did some creative things with applying for grants and much needed to keep us focused on being able to serve. And so we received over $1 million worth of grant funding from various private and community foundations, the United Way organization, and many groups quickly put out COVID response grants, and we applied for those very quickly and received a lot, and that helped us to do some innovative things. One of them was a digital kind of, we think of it as literacy program, which at first started out as telehealth, but as we started working with individuals, we realized people didn't have access to Wi-Fi. They also didn't have the skills or knowledge of how to get connected or how to use different parts of an iPad or a tablet that was provided to them. So we started to provide in some of our grants, writing in to have support systems for that, so we could teach them these digital literacy skills to then be able to connect not just with Easterseals, but family and friends and loved ones. Look at, reading books online or listening to music, and kind of those coping mechanisms that could be supportive to them, so they didn't feel so alone. And it's been terrific, to see that happening. And again, we hear a lot of mission stories, Craig does, from the people that we serve, that are just like, it was such a blessing to have that. And then many of them, again, are learning skills that now they might have been really anxious about doing, and now in the future, they're able to do it on their own.
And Craig, I was reading about these coping boxes that you're offering too. Explain those a little bit and exactly what they do.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we've always stressed throughout this whole pandemic is that there are a number of things that you can do at home to help reduce your stress and anxiety that could involve reading or sleeping. And we kind of had this ongoing conversation about these things that people can do right at their at their home to help with this. And so out of that kind of came the coping box idea, and having in an organization like ours that is very much in the community and having a lot of community events, we weren't able to really do as many fundraisers for ourselves. So combining the coping boxes with the fundraising aspect was a fantastic kind of synergy between the two, and we came up with this. So what we did was we have a lot of people don't know that Easterseals Michigan has 550 employees, and some of those employees happen to be highly trained doctors and nurses and physicians and master's level social workers. So we said, we got all these great resources, let's come together and we can identify items that would help people and their homes to reduce stress. We came up with the coping box. And so in these coping boxes, they've been hand selected by our staff and our chief medical officer. The items range from everything from a ropeless jump rope, which was, I had to see it to believe it. I had never heard of one before. So it was kind of an interesting thing. But it's good to promote exercise. And then we have a fleece blanket and a number of other things, from aromatherapy to hot chocolate bombs, because chocolate is actually can be good for you. I took that information and was running back to my parents saying, see, it was good for me. I could have eaten so much more chocolate. It wasn't bad for me, but in moderation, it can be actually really good for you. So we included items like that. And what we have is, if you go on to eastersealsmichigan.com, you can purchase one of these. And then there's a level there where you can purchase a box for yourself, or we give one to someone else in need. So it's kind of a buy one, give one sort of approach to it. So it helps a lot of the people we serve, as well as you will get one yourself. So it's a great fun way to promote mental health, as well as support our services.
I love seeing all the pivots that are done during the pandemic, and that was definitely one of the cooler things. I mean, just it's the little things, right? Chocolate, just a little bit of chocolate might make your day go better. And when we were talking offline, you guys had a couple bullet points of just little things people can do on their own if they're afraid to make that first call and they don't want to go through that process. What are just some little things they can do at home to feel better?
Sure. So some of the things that we discussed again with our team as we were coming up with coping mechanisms for everyone to use, because we're all, experiencing this pandemic right now. We thought about the things that are just accessible to everyone, that you have them in your home. We're not asking someone to go get something or buy something. And so water is one of the easiest forms of thinking about how important it is to stay hydrated. And so as easy a tip as drinking 8-ounce glasses a day, kind of challenging yourself to think about it in that way, that you want to do that can really help to lower your stress levels and just make you feel better. And again, that you're consciously trying to do something, healthy for yourself. Another way, Ryan, is to think about how much sleep you're getting. I know a lot of people think about sleep and are into restless sleep. It's good to try to strive to get your 8 hours of sleep, but also important to think about doing it in a dark room to think of your quality of your sleep. And so trying to, minimize the distractions, not falling asleep with the TV on, or, having something else in your room on as a night light or whatnot, just really a kind of quiet setting, dark, and get a good night's sleep. That can be very, very beneficial to then setting you up for success the next day. And, waking with a new feeling, a new attitude towards the new day. And then the third area that we kind of think through is the idea of exercise, as Craig said, and thinking about, yourself walking. And I go, no, it's cold right now in Michigan, but it might be taking the steps in your house, going up and down your steps, or if it is a flat apartment that you live in, maybe you're making some trips around and looping around. What is recommended from the American Heart Association is 50 minutes of exercise 3 times a week. So thinking that 150 is kind of your target. Just how am I going to get some exercise? A lot of television stations now are doing a lot more with, flipping to a channel and all of a sudden you're learning a new form of aerobics that's free, or things like that. But walking and running and jogging can be something that, again, you don't have to have any devices or anything to sign up for, and you can do it from home. But it can make you feel really good. And again, it releases a lot of great things in your mind when you get a little bit of your heart pumping. And then, the people that we serve, a lot of them, just starting towards that 150 or making a goal for the week is helpful.
Yeah, I think routine is so important. I mean, I wake up every morning, I get my exercise in, and the days that I don't, I feel way more sluggish than the days that I do, no doubt about that. And like podcasts is something I've become really accustomed to listening to. I subscribe to like 30 different podcasts
Mhm.
and I religiously listen to them, and they just kind of help me mentally get through the day a little bit too and keep my brain fresh in that. I think that's probably what inspired me to start my own podcast. I just think they're people love them. Podcast listenership's up 50% or so since the pandemic. So yeah, I think everybody just needs to find their own little routine that gets them through the day for sure. So now there's certainly people that want to have an appointment, want to have a telehealth meeting, they want to speak to someone. So talk to me about how available your counselors are and how people can go about scheduling meetings.
Absolutely. So we are available. We are accepting new people. We have grown in 2020. We grew 9% over the previous year, with a lot of mental health services being one of the leading services that people are seeking. So we are readily available. The best way to get in touch with us is to call our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-75-SEALS. And that's our contact center, and they will direct you to the proper individuals to help the process get started. And yeah, we're rocking and rolling. We're doing whatever we can for the community so that individuals can remain mentally healthy, and together we can kind of face this ongoing crisis.
Is that a 24-hour call line, Craig, or is it limited hours if that's available?
There is it can be redirected after hours. So we do have a crisis line too. If there's a crisis, obviously, if it is a life or death situation, we would, stress to call 911. If for whatever reason someone is not able to answer the phone, you can leave a message and we'll call back within a day.
And I think that part's so important because you have to be able to talk to those people in that moment. If they don't have somebody there to talk to them in that moment, it's going to be hard to reconnect with them later.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
it's huge. I'm sure you both have seen so many great success stories, and I'm going to kind of put both of you on the spot here. We'll start here with you, Regan.
Sure.
Maybe just all your years and time working with Easterseals, what's maybe one success story that stands out that really warmed your heart?
I think definitely one of the things that we experienced this year, and thinking of the kids and the schools that we serve, we're in about 11 schools throughout Oakland County, Ryan, and we have a Miracle League, which is an adaptive baseball program that helps kids be able to play baseball. And I think of it as kind of our field of dreams. It's a really nice community gym. And we were very nervous, especially last summer, that we wouldn't be able to have a season at all. We typically have a summer and then we have a fall season. And then we, throughout the year, have activities, bowling for the kids in the winter, dance, and then we start up again with baseball. And thankfully, we were able to, at our newest field up in Lake Orion, have a safe play. And so I think that to me was so special when Craig and I got to see the pictures of our playbook that we created and showing the kids and the families. Typically our kids have a buddy system, which is where someone in the community, a group or an organization will actually come out and volunteer with the kids and help them as they're running the bases. And everybody wins in Miracle League. It's a really great experience. Sometimes we should have you come out and buddy with us because that would be fun for you to enjoy too. And we had the families all, have a meeting and talked about how we were going to be able to play in the fall safely, but we needed them to help us to make it happen. And they all came forward, and we had, a beautiful season. And the pictures when I saw again that we actually were able to do it and safely, I just knew for these families and these kids, I'm very concerned. And, that's why we think about, I know Craig and I both have young kids and you've talked too about yours. I'm really concerned about them and, not having social activities, but also having a special needs child and them not having any kind of outlet is very emotional, I think, leading up to that. So I'm thankful. And right now we're looking forward to the idea that hopefully we can play this summer, both at our Southfield field and in Lake Orion at Friendship Park and have a season. But again, there's nothing more special than coming out to see the Miracle League kids play. And it's something that, the community really needed to have a second field, and we opened it about 2 years ago. So I was happy that COVID, again, I felt like all through the pandemic, honestly, Ryan, nothing has stopped Easterseals. Nothing has made us close our doors. We're still out there serving. seeing people face to face, having people come into our offices, and our locations all stayed open. It's really been something I'll never forget, experiencing through the pandemic.
Yeah. For me, I think one of the things that kind of it was served as a reminder is that not everybody is born with mental health disabilities. Sometimes there are accidents that cause mental health disabilities, or things that life events, a divorce can trigger something, the loss of a job, and kind of this feeling of not knowing what to do next. And there's one story that stands out about this gentleman who was very successful auto exec, had a great family, lived in Birmingham, and was doing really great. And then one day he began having these kind of seeing things and experiencing some, hearing sounds. And so he went to the doctor, and they found a tumor, a brain tumor. And they said that they could remove the brain tumor, that there was a risk that he might be different after it. And he said, well, what do I do if I don't want to get the surgery to remove it? And they said, well, he would, eventually pass away from it. So he decided to go through with the surgery, and it did cause him to have some mental health disabilities following that. And his family found it really hard because he was so different than he was before. So he went through a divorce, and the kids found it uncomfortable to be around him due to his disability. And he really didn't have anywhere to go. And so he came to Easterseals, and we were able to help him fill out the forms he needed to secure housing. We were able to help him with getting connected with resources in the community, and provided him mental health services, which helped him remain focused on accomplishing his goals. And that was, to me, really one of those situations that really kind of talks about what Easterseals does. Is it connects you with the right resources. It provides the services. It's not just a counseling center. It's way more than that. And it unlocked in him the power and the empowerment inside of him to be able to go out and do the things he remembered doing and the things he wanted to do. When he came to us, he was really in a bad space. He didn't know what to do, and we were able to help empower him to get back into the rat race kind of thing. Get back out there. Let's get this going. And he credits us, to this day with saving his life. And it just reminded me of just the true power of what Easterseals does. And through this pandemic, by connecting people with mental health disabilities with their clinician, but also giving them the space to be able to, not pressure them to get back into in-person learning. We never closed our doors during the pandemic. We offered services throughout the pandemic. If anyone wanted to come into our buildings, whether, we had safety protocols and things like that in place, like everybody else did. But we were there. We always had the light on, but there were some individuals that needed to stay at home, and we provided services for them, and we're patient with them. And that was probably to me the best part of doing what we do every day, is seeing that, in reality. And it's more than just a great story. It was what was happening to, thousands of lives throughout the pandemic. So it was a wonderful thing to see an organization like Easterseals really getting out there and making it possible for people in our community with mental health disabilities to continue getting their services without having them interrupted, and also being there for them is kind of what we've always been about. So we continue that tradition, which was fantastic.
And I love both those stories because it shows the wide range of people and ages of people that you can work with as well. So that's so cool. And I'm sure you're always looking for donations too, to be able to continue to provide these services. What are maybe some opportunities coming up, or what would you suggest for people that are looking to donate?
Right now, again, the coping box that Craig said, that's our current campaign that we're doing. And then into the fall time, we're going to have something to look forward to outside event that's called Over the Edge, where someone can actually take a chance to go over in Grand Rapids area, the Bridgewater Place, which is one of the tallest buildings there in downtown Grand Rapids. And the idea with that is to face mental health, the way that people have to battle it each day. You're going to face going over the building in a rappelling form. So you'll go up and down the building rappelling and raise funds for Easterseals. So we have people that are already starting to get signed up and ready for that. we think we'll probably have a really good turnout because people are looking forward to trying to do something again and feel like, again, back to what is a new normal. So we're going to invite them to rappel with us. And then also in May, Ryan, we're going to do a lot leading up to the fall. We think these, things that are happening right now during the pandemic aren't just going to go away overnight. It's going to be a very long road with the mental health effects, kind of the ripple effects that are going to take place. So in May, we're really going to join together with lots of groups and organizations to try to promote mental health and ask people to take a screening. We have a screening that lives on our website. And also we have lots of free educational materials and resources for individuals themselves that might be concerned about something going on with them, or people in their family or friends or their network. And, again, just thinking that you're not alone, and that you can have people like, around you, and surround yourself with people that care and love you. And that's what we're going to do. So Mental Health Month, the whole month of May, we're going to be doing a lot to encourage employers and share our resources to say, hey, show that you care about those that work for you and those around you, and ask them to take a screening. We're going to try to make it a goal to have 5,000 people take our free anonymous screening, just because we think people, need to get a checkup.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, anything to add to that as far as closing thoughts about people looking to donate?
Yeah, I think what's really cool is that, and a lot of people might hear about organizations and how much, if they make a donation, how much actually goes to the services. 97 cents out of every dollar that is given to Easterseals goes back to the services, and it stays here in Michigan. So if you go to eastersealsmichigan.com and donate there, that money stays here and helps local families and helps individuals in our area. So it doesn't venture out of state. It doesn't go into a giant national pot to be distributed from that point. It goes right to the services here. So that is fantastic. And to kind of piggyback on what Regan said about the screening, that's on our website. It's about 2 minutes. It's completely free and anonymous. So you're not going to end up on a mailing list. You're not going to end up getting contacted in any way. It's anonymous, free online screening. It's just a great resource to be able to go in and kind of take it very quickly and see if what you're feeling is maybe a sign of needing to have services. If you take the screening and it shows that you could possibly benefit from services, we do not get that information. So you can contact us if you want to seek services with us, or if you want to seek services with another provider, that is fine too. Mental health is extremely important. If individuals who do not get mental health treatment, it's been shown to shorten their life. So if you have a mental health disability and don't receive treatment, you can really impact your health. So we really want to drive that home, and thanks to donations, we're able to provide these things for free and continue to offer them to the community.
It's all awesome stuff. I'm so glad to have made the connection with you guys. This is a topic I absolutely wanted to cover, and there's nobody more perfect than a company that's been around this long and kept their doors open every single day in the pandemic. There aren't many people that can say that, that's for sure, and just continue to serve. So Craig, Regan, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you.
Ryan.
Appreciate
We
it.
enjoyed it.
All right.